from Nashville and Hollywood. Morgan number 2's 30 Second Skinny.
Rascal Flatts announced they plan to end their career of 20 years with one final farewell tour this summer. The group posted on social media sharing the news, and they will travel to over 20 cities and kick it off in Indiana. Brantley Gilbert is an avid motorcyclist, and it's looking like his son Barrett will follow in his footsteps.
He absolutely loves them, which is a little bit terrifying, but I wanted him to be around them from an early age. As far as riding one himself, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'd like that to be a little later for him than when I started, just because I think it takes a little while. Even if you were raised around them, they're like guns. You have to respect them or they'll hurt you really bad.
The 2020 Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival lineup has been announced. Morgan Wallen and Jason Isbell will be performing. The festival is going down on June 11th to June 14th in Manchester, Tennessee. I'm Morgan number 2. That's your skinny.
On the phone right now is Courtney in Georgia, who has called. I love when you guys have questions, because sometimes, I'll be honest, I do and we do what we feel is entertaining and we feel you guys want to know, but sometimes we don't cover the things you want us to cover. Courtney, what is your question?
Hey, studio.
Almost.
I wanted to find out how therapy is going, if you have an update.
Well, I do. I went to therapy yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah.
And I say this, that I'm a big believer in therapy. To me, I'm not embarrassed at all. I don't think anyone should be embarrassed about going to work on yourself. If that's to the gym to get physically stronger, if it's going to talk to somebody to get mentally stronger, like, don't be embarrassed of whatever you're doing when you're putting work into yourself. And so people are always like, you know what, you're so brave for talking about it. I'm not brave. Like, I should be doing this. I feel like this is good for everyone. So I go to my therapist yesterday, and I think I've probably been like to her 12 or 13 times. 12 or 13
wow.
weeks.
Has it been that many?
Yeah. And she is a couples therapist, and which means she just works with couples and me.
And there's 2 chairs in there.
Well, now she's put an extra chair in there, so I get to sit on the back side of the 2 chairs now. Yeah, when you walk in, there's 2 chairs that look at each other, and she usually works with couples that way. Now there's a couch behind it that I get to sit on and just look at her one-on-one. So I sit behind the 2 chairs, and I go in yesterday, and we're talking. She's like, well, how was the break? And I kind of told her about some stuff. And she said, you know, you are just the Benjamin Buttons of relationships. And I said, what's that mean? She goes, with a lot of people, when they meet someone new, they're like, this is the greatest thing. This is the one. And she goes, anytime that you meet anybody, you're like, well, there's no way this is going to work. She's like, it's just not going to work. Here are 50 reasons why it won't work. Here's why it's not going to work for me. She goes, but the more that you hang out with someone, you start to go the opposite. And I go, oh, I do see a little light. Oh, I do see a little more opportunity here for there to be something. So she called me the Benjamin Buttons of relationships yesterday.
Never thought about it that way.
So, but yeah, we had a good one. But here's the thing, in a little bit, because we have our rhythm now. Like, boom, every week I go in, get my hour, feel good. She's gone for 3 weeks.
Oh no! What about? Can y'all FaceTime?
Ooh, I know. So I'm probably just gonna quit.
Setback.
Yeah. No. Just gonna go
find
back.
someone else.
Can she give you exercises during that hour that you normally have blocked off for that? You can work on yourself still?
I don't want to be so dependent that if she's not here for a week that I'm going, oh no, I'm going to not be able to make it through the day.
Oh, okay.
It'll be good for me. It'll be good for her. But I'm going. I love it. I think anytime you can work on yourself in any way whatsoever, that is nothing but good. And so that's my update now. I'm very open to new relationships. And there are things now, these small things happening in my life now that I have not shared yet. Amy knows.
Mm-hmm.
But because as much love as there is between me and our listeners, sometimes they go a little crazy on social media.
Yeah.
And they go tagging people and they go attacking
fair.
accounts. And it's not fair to anybody that comes into my life that way. So, but it is good. I'm working. I can feel progress. And I see potential in me. And that is it. How do you feel about that answer, Courtney? Would you like me to answer any other question about that? Did I hit what you wanted?
No, that's awesome. I just, I love the fact that you're very open and honest about it. We don't have the same type of background, but very similar backgrounds. And I used to be very embarrassed of going to therapy, but it has changed my life. And so the fact that you are honest and open about it, I love it. It makes you so relatable to those of us that haven't had this, knight in shining upbringing and love story. So I just love it, and I love to hear when you talk about it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And for me, therapy's been for a lot of reasons, and not just relationships, but just trust. And, her whole thing is you don't have to think that everybody's going to abandon you because everybody's abandoned you your whole life. And that's one of the things that we work on. Not just love, not just relationships, but so it's good. And now Rascal Flatts is leaving me.
I know. What's happening?
She's not even going to be here for me to go back. Rascal Flatts left. What am I going to do? They're breaking up.
You're silly.
Thank you.
This is what he does when he's a little
I know.
uncomfortable. He makes a joke.
No, I'm going to tell you what happens. I get in this. I really enjoy my therapist. And she's fantastic. She's probably 60, not sure her age. And I always feel weird because I'm curious about other people always. They don't really know the rules about how much can you ask them about their life.
Yeah, because you're not there for that.
I know, but I really want to know stuff. And then I also, because she's so trained at working with people and staying serious, like if I can make her laugh in the middle of therapy, I go and I'm like, got one. Yeah.
Write that down.
That's fun to me because I don't think that happens often. Like
now
yeah.
it's a game. That's really fun to me.
That's fun. Yeah. Courtney, thank you very much for your call. Thank you for listening to the show, and hopefully I'll talk to you again soon. Okay?
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah. Have a good day. Well, we'll come back in a second. Hey, I'll say this too. Call if you have a question or a comment. 877-77-BOBBY. 877-77-BOBBY, and we'll put you on. A couple things. I'll open up a mailbag. This guy and his girlfriend, they live in an apartment. It's a TV question that he has. He has a question and email about watching TV.
Okay.
So we'll get to that. Also, Amy's son tried to arrest a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because he's now a cop.
Right. All his Christmas presents.
This is just not going to go well if he continues on this route.
So we'll get to both of those coming up next. Thank you. So even for Christmas, he got him a police officer hoodie.
Yeah.
And he's got...
You gave him a real badge from a police officer that was given to you, and then you gifted it to him. He loves that.
Got him a helmet.
A megaphone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all this stuff.
So SWAT, too.
And you got him for Christmas a motorcycle.
Yes.
Like a toy.
It's an official police motorcycle. It has high speed, low speed. And he went on a pursuit, high speed, yesterday. I was in the garage working out. And I said, you have to stay in the alley where I can see you. And he was, kind of. And I had the garage door open. Then all of a sudden, I saw a man walk by. And then I saw Stevenson go up the hill. Our alley has a hill. He goes up the hill and then over the hill. And I thought, okay, he'll come back down any minute. He wasn't coming back down. And I thought, okay, where did he go? Then I'm starting to freak out because I don't know who the strange man was. I don't know where Stevenson went. So I go after him and I'm looking and I'm running down. And he said he decided that man looks suspicious. Mm-hmm. He even used the word suspicious, which is a big word for Stevenson. And he said, yeah, he needed to follow him and that he followed him high speed and that the man turned around and said mean things to him that he does not want to repeat. But he said he was very, very mean to me. And I said, well, Stevenson, this is when I got the whole story of what he was doing. And I said, well, what were you doing? He said, well, I was following him.
Did he use his kid pepper spray I got him?
Yeah.
And then he said that, yes, he seemed suspicious and he thought he needed to arrest him, but he was trying to just like go alongside him because he didn't have his handcuffs with him. And I was like, oh my gosh.
He needs a body cam now.
Yes. And like our neighborhood is, very diverse, full of all kinds. And I don't know who this man was, what he was up to or anything. So the fact that he turned and had harsh words with Stevenson, because I think Stevenson was freaking him out, bothers me. But I get it. Stevenson was probably annoying him. And like, what the heck are you doing? Who knows exactly what he said because Stevenson couldn't repeat it back to me.
Do we have audio? What is this audio?
Oh, I made Stevenson take an oath. And this is really audio that I recorded for myself so I could play it back to him. And remember, as Officer Brown, this is the oath that you took to obey the rules.
I, Stevenson,
will not follow strangers
on my police scooter,
and I will not try to arrest people
because it's dangerous.
And lamest oath ever. It also sounds like you're freestyling. And I, Stevenson, promise I'll be good.
Well, it was. I was just making it up as I was going because I just needed him to know that this was serious. If that man wanted to, he went out of my sight. I don't know where. Who knows? This guy could have had a van at the end of the street and been like, okay, little kid, you want to mess with me? Tossing you in the van. Whatever.
They have walkie-talkies, right? Stevenson and your husband?
Yes, but he didn't have one on him. But now I should make him be equipped with a walkie-talkie so I can always know where he is at all times.
But he's okay. Everybody's okay.
Everybody's
and
okay.
And he learned a lesson.
And he learned a lesson. And he can't, who cares? If you see somebody suspicious, you can't follow them.
Or maybe you can.
I know.
I mean, that guy should have gotten arrested the way he talked to him. I mean, if a little kid.
But I don't know what the guy said.
We don't know.
Right?
And I kept trying to get out of it. I
know.
I kept trying to get out of him. Stevenson, can you just remember exactly what it is? And he said, I don't want to talk about it. I just
Oh, wow.
He goes, just know that it was mean. And I said, did he yell at you? He goes, it wasn't so much yelling. He was just mean. So I think he was firm with him, like, get away from me, little kid.
If you guys want to hop on the show, you can. Questions or comments, 877-77-Bobby. 877-77-Bobby. We'll hit you right after this. We'll do Luke Combs coming up. We'll also get to this email about 2 TVs in one place and what the rules are with that in a relationship. Both those on the way next.
This is the Bobby Bones Show.
Bobby Bones.
Let's go over to Chris in Alabama, who is on the phone right now. Chris, what's happening, man?
Morning. Morning, studio.
Morning.
Quick question for you. When you have a bad customer service experience or something, do you guys feel it's appropriate to kind of put that company or that individual who gave you that experience on blast on social media? Or do you kind of frown away from that?
What I do is I don't go back. I mostly treat it good or bad, reward or punishment with me spending there further. Because you can have bad customer service somewhere and because it's a worker who works there and not penalize the whole institution. Like you got somebody who's opened up a small business or someone who's opened up a chain and they can't be there all the time and they've hired someone and that someone has a bad day. I don't really let that affect my feelings toward making sure everybody knows about it. And also, I've also just had bad days and I hope people will give me a little bit of grace sometimes when I have bad days. So unless like the owner punched you in the face, I would just not go back. I think really the best way to reward or punish someone is with your business or without your business. I don't know that I will be getting on social media going, this sucks, not for me, don't do it. Because you really get nothing except that instant gratification of I showed you, and then you probably feel bad about it later.
Right.
And then you're like, I kind of wish I wouldn't have done that. I've also had bad days. I'm glad people can't get on social media and do one like, Bobby, you're a sucky person, because I would get those sometimes. So I'm going to say that no. I don't think putting people on blast generally is a good idea. Sometimes.
Like if there's a place for that company that you can write a review, you could probably share your experience, but it doesn't have to be, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have to be on blast.
It doesn't have to be a public thing because you can really mess up someone's Yelp.
True.
You can really affect someone's business in a bad way. So I'm going to say no, Chris. What happened to you? Why do you think this?
Well, actually, it was a mailbag that you guys had a couple of weeks ago where the gentleman had brought his son in to get a haircut, and they charged him double because the son was crying and was upset.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about it, and the reason I ask is because if you have a bad experience like that, like you were saying, that's an employee, not the owner of the company or whatever the case. But if you don't say anything, then the owner of the company never knows because I guarantee you their employer's not going to tell them, hey, I had this thing happen today. And then the company or the owner doesn't have an opportunity to make adjustments, make changes, train their people better so that in the future, other people don't have a similar negative experience.
Well, I think there's a difference in putting someone on blast publicly and calling up the place and going, hey, I had a bad experience.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that would be the super mature thing to do would be like, hey, this is Wheelie. Can I speak to the owner? Hey, I didn't have a good experience today. Here's what happened. I think that's so much different than going on their Instagram. But even Instagram, they can wipe the comment off or going on to Yelp or going on to Facebook and just throwing it out there to get revenge, social media revenge. I'm just not much on putting the on blast. But yeah, sure, if you want to call the owner, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with ever voicing a concern to someone who can help make something better or worse. I think that's a great question, though, Chris. I'm glad you asked it. But for me personally, I'm not going to put someone on blast. I'm just not going to give them my business. And if I feel like they need to know, I'm going to call and say, hey, this happened. Is this okay with you? And maybe it's not, and then maybe I go back. Maybe like, oh, sorry about that. Yeah. We'll fix that. So,
well, guys, thank you so much for taking my call and answering my question. I really appreciate it. Love the show. Morning Corny is my favorite jam, and you guys do a great job. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. See you later, bud.
All right, bye-bye.
I do have a mailbag. Raymundo, can we open up the mailbag here?
Bobby's Mailbag.
And you guys can email us at any time. Ask any question you want, and we try to get to as many of them as possible. They write, good morning, studio.
Morning.
My girlfriend and I like to watch different shows on Sunday nights. Her show is on one channel. My show is on another. She insists we watch them together. First her show, then my show on demand. I don't understand. Why do we have to do that? We have 2 TVs in the apartment. Why can't I go in one room and she in the other? Is it necessary that we watch shows together even if one of us hates the show? Is this some sort of bonding moment that I'm missing? It feels like forced bonding. I don't make her watch football with me in the afternoon on Sunday. Signed, Matthew. Amy, I'm coming to you. Your thoughts?
Wow, Matthew, what's the big deal? You get to watch your favorite show. You get to spend time with her. It's something y'all are doing together. I get wanting to be together and not be in separate rooms on separate TVs. Suck it up. I mean, I think
Can I just toss this at you? Just for
Sure.
just a little example.
Toss it over.
So this is not the same thing, but a lot of whenever parents fight, and let's say parents are going to split up and they go, I would rather us be happy apart than fighting with the kids watching. Like I would rather there not be that rocky relationship. I'd rather us be apart than have that rocky relationship. Now, on a much, much smaller level, a micro level, what if you were both just happy separate watching your shows? Because doesn't that make everything happier?
But she's clearly not. She wants him there.
Yeah, I know she does. So, but I'm just asking that question because here's what he has to weigh. Is it more important to him to keep her happy or to his happiness he gets by watching a show alone?
Yeah.
Like whichever one that wins, that's where you go. Like if it's really important to her, it doesn't matter what it is.
He's getting comfortable.
If it's okay, and that's okay. You should get comfortable, but you should get comfortable with each other.
I agree.
But also have regards for the other's feelings. And this is what I'm going to leave my opinion on. How important is it to you that she stay happy? Because you can avoid a lot of drama just by giving her this one. She's probably giving you things and taking one for the team for you at times. Take one. Don't suck it up, as Amy says. I'm going to say take one for the team.
Okay.
Relationships are each other looking out for each other. And I'm sure she's stepping in for you at times when she doesn't want to do stuff. So if it's important to her, whatever it is, and you can do it, why not do it?
I agree.
Well, in a different way. You're a little more coarse.
You said suck it up.
You said suck it up, loser.
Because I was like, is this really that big of a deal? Like, you get to still watch your show. Y'all get to be together. Because I can totally relate to wanting to not be separate during that time.
But can I say this? Would you rather your husband be miserable and with you or happy and apart? That was my first question.
Why is he
If he's like
miserable
watching
with me?
Because he doesn't want to watch.
You watch
what you're
Vanderpump
watching.
Rules, right?
Yeah.
And so you're watching Vanderpump Rules, and he's like, "Ugh." But you're like, thank you. I'm just so glad you're with me. But he's also like, bleh.
But then his show next, I'm going to watch with him. I might be miserable through that, but I'm not miserable because I'm with him.
But I'm just asking about his feelings. Would you rather him be miserable and with you or happy and apart? Just a question.
I mean, I guess happy and apart, but why would he be miserable with me?
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
Here's what I'm going to say, Matthew. If it's this important to her, I think you should really work with her on
and
it.
Matthew, I hope you're communicating this to her and not just to us.
No, I hope it's just us.
No.
And then her, and I think she has this, I would tell her the same thing. Whatever's important, it's maybe not be TV shows to him, but whatever's important to him, you kind of need to stick your neck in there and be like, okay, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
So, Matthew, suck it up. Yeah, right?
There you go.
Matthew, we both agree, Amy and I both agree that you just need to get with the program and make this work if it's that important to her.
But definitely communicate to her. And then she might need to get with the program too in other areas.
We know what those areas are, don't we, boys?
Oh, yeah, we do.
All right. Luke,
Sometimes you're so mature, and I'm like, God, he's so mature. Like, he's right.
But
and
most of the time, he's not, though.
And I've seen you mature.
Yeah.
And I've seen you grow in
pretty mature.
like different things, and it's been cool to see.
Yeah.
Because obviously now we're almost 40. Like, yeah, we started in our 20s, and then you come in with stuff like that.
69, Jude.
Sometimes.
Always get you.
I mean, me too, though. And I'm like, wow, we're almost 40, and
But
sometimes
here's
we
the-
act
you know what
12.
else I've noticed
Which I
about
love
life?
it. I love that we can still be 12, but
is that as much as when I was a kid and when I was a kid, I was 22, I'll be like, man, these people at 35 got it figured out. That's
Yeah.
a real adult. And then I got 35 and I was like, oh no, I'm the same. I just have more experience of knowing what's going to work and what's not, but I'm still the same idiot.
Yeah.
right.
And I'm never not going to be.
Right.
And
That's
we
good.
definitely matured in some areas, for sure.
For sure. All right.
Okay.
Luke Combs, even though I'm leaving, Bobby Bones Show. Tell me something good coming up. Positivity comes up. 55 after the hour. Love that. Tomorrow, lead singer of Sixpence None the Richer will be in on the show performing. That'd be cool. They have this big thing going on in Vegas right now called CES. And maybe you see those letters up and they're like, CES at Vegas. What that is the Consumer Electronics Show where they bring out a lot of the new products for next year. They unveiled the Intelligent Toilet.
Oh, what does that do?
It's from a brand Kohler, Kohler. It comes with a heated seat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that sounds cool if it heats quickly.
Right.
Because I never go, I'm going to hit that toilet in 10 minutes.
You don't prepare for that.
It's like starting the car in the morning. You know, you can't just 30 seconds go, I wish the car was warm. You got to give it. So if that toilet seat can go and heat up, that's great.
I don't know how they do this, but my sisters-in-laws, they're all their toilet seats are heated all the time.
Sounds like an electric bill. That's how they do it.
I was at their new house recently. I sat down. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? It's awesome.
The heated seat has a foot warmer.
Oh, what?
Ambient lighting.
Oh.
And Bluetooth music sync capability.
Okay, nobody's hanging out there that long.
Who are you talking? What are you talking of? Yeah, a lot of dudes do.
Okay, so this is appealing to men.
Maybe.
Okay.
Do women just go in and out?
I wonder, Amy, not trying to be weird here, but if you're dropping the dew.
Stop. That is weird when you say it like that. Just say when
That's a good way to say it.
No, it's not like it's not like a man.
You never spend 20 minutes in there?
Never. Never.
You don't read anything?
Nope.
Wow.
They expect the toilet to cost $1,500 or so.
Oh my gosh.
So, and again, these sound like actual functions that I think a lot of people could use.
Yeah.
What gets me is the TV on the refrigerator. Now, I would guess and I don't have that, but
I'm into that.
But that's something you are into.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm never at my refrigerator long enough. Much like when you're dropping that too, you're not at the toilet.
Okay, so but it's like having a TV in your kitchen now. You have it on the refrigerator, but it blends in. You don't need like an extra countertop space or wall space for a TV. It's right there on the refrigerator.
My
To me,
point
that's
is
genius.
because we're using these things in different capacity and capacities that they're appealing. I have no use for a fridge in my kitchen, or a TV in my kitchen or my refrigerator, and I see those there's TVs on refrigerators. I'm like, who would pay for this?
I want that refrigerator that somehow tells you what you need from the grocery store. I don't know how it works, but it's like you're out of milk.
There's another one I saw at this
Yeah.
where the refrigerator, you can take the food and put it in it, and it can break down the ingredients in it.
Oh, wow, that's
What?
cool.
And tell you what to get to continue making that. Here we go. Listen to this. Samsung and LG to unveil smart fridges that use AI to suggest recipes based on ingredients inside and create weekly meal plans.
Oh.
That's at CES.
That's legit. I would buy that.
Yeah, it's probably really expensive.
Well, maybe in 10 years when the price goes down.
All I want is a fridge that makes the good ice, like at Sonic.
Yeah.
And I would be happy. Because my fridge doesn't do that now. I just get the big clunky ice.
You have to like get an ice maker for that. I don't think fridges make that ice.
I don't know. Some people have the door where you go.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
I've
have
only
a-
seen it in the big, like if you have an extra ice maker in your house.
My ice maker is a pull out. You go into the freezer and you pull it out and you. But it's all.
The ice is always really big.
Big
It's all
ice.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
lame. You should.
No Sonic guys.
It's lame. Amy's telling me something good comes up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
I like to hear excitement about those. Also, you can watch the show. We're up. Go to facebook.com/Bobby Bones Show and like the Facebook page too, because Morgan number 2 sitting over there waiting for 1 million likes. We're close, aren't we?
We're so close.
So you can watch the show live as we do it and like us on Facebook. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being here this morning.
It's time for the good news.
With Amy.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so this is cool. In Kansas City, 150 high school students that are on the robotics team, they all got together and engineered 22 miniature cars and scooters for kids with disabilities. And the kids just went crazy when they got them. Like everyone involved was so excited. The kids that made it and then the kids that received them, their new Power Wheels, just because it allowed the kids to be mobile, but like independently mobile. Like they could pick which way they wanted to go and wheel around, and it was just super special.
Yeah, I'm looking at a video here.
Yeah.
High school robotics team gives new rides to kids who use wheelchairs. That's really cool.
Like Power Wheel rides.
That's special. And that is what it's all about.
That was Tell Me Something Good.
You know what I want to do is I want to play a song. This is probably my favorite song on the radio right now. I did an interview yesterday and they say, hey, what's your favorite song right now? And I thought about it. And I think do you have a favorite song before I play mine?
Right now?
Yeah, it's tough right now because
It
there's
is,
really
'cause-
nothing that's screaming at me.
Oh, I have a couple that are screaming at me.
Go ahead.
Riding Roads.
Not a screamer to me. I like it fine.
I
but
turn
okay.
it up.
Yeah.
Kinfolk.
Hold on. Oh, Kinfolk is a jam for
Jam.
sure. Oh, I didn't
Is that
think
one
about that.
screaming at you?
That
'Cause-
one's so good. I should have said, but I like this song. I think.
Which one's this?
I'll
Is
play
this-
it. I'll play it in a second.
Okay.
Which one do you?
Well, I have another one, but I can't think of the name, but it's Morgan Wallen.
Oh,
Whiskey Glass.
Chasing
No,
You.
Chasing You.
Chasing You.
That, okay,
Yes.
I'm glad you
See?
said that because those two are yes. Kinfolk, Chasing You, and this one here, which is To a T from Ryan Hurd.
Oh, so
that's a
good.
jam.
This song is
Yeah.
so good. I don't understand why people aren't playing it more. I don't know what the process is. I'm not connected to radio programming playlists. I just kind of do. I play the songs that are put into the 3 songs an hour that are put in, and sometimes I just switch it up and play what I want to play. But this song, I hear and I go, why aren't radio stations playing this more? Like, do you not want good ratings? That's what I think. Do you just want bad ratings? Because you should play this song more. Here you go. Ryan Hurd, To a T. This song is so good. Check it out. I put up a clip from my Bear Grylls episode that airs next week. I put it up yesterday on Instagram. And so on Tuesday night of next week, the 14th, at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, whatever the time is, on Nat Geo, I get to do an episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls where I secretly went to Norway. We couldn't talk about it on the show. I went, didn't say anything about it, came back, was quiet for months. I think we shot it in July of last year.
Feels like a long time ago.
Probably,
Yeah.
was it?
Well, all I know is free is cold.
Yeah.
You get to northern Norway and it's like in the 20s, and when it was the warmest, it was 34 or so.
That's crazy.
And so you can see on my Instagram, I'm walking across. We have a 14-mile journey to go on over 2 days through the fjords, through the mountains, through the water. We had to get across a river, and I'll play you a clip here because what happens is this river was strong in the middle of it, but if I were to get swept away, it went right off a cliff.
Oof.
And I have this rope around my neck and my shoulder. And you're like, why are you wearing a rope around your neck and shoulder? Because if I were to fall and I get swept away, I had a rope around my neck to make sure I didn't go die, basically.
Yeah.
Here's a clip from the episode. This is from my episode coming up on Tuesday, trying to cross a river on a long hike through Norway.
You're over halfway. Lean into that float. That's it. Shuffling your feet, really nice. Make sure each foot holds solid before you commit to it. Brilliant, brilliant. Well done, you. Great job. Great job.
That was tough. You really don't realize how powerful it is until you go. But if I needed to, I was going to hug a rock and just scream, Bear! I'm not too good for that, but I'm glad I didn't have to do it.
And the water really got tough because when it's at the shins, it's okay. It's slick and cold, but you're okay. Once it got to the top part of your thighs and that water is just pushing you, it's tough. So I had this big stick. I had to get a big log and lean it forward like a tripod. So my 2 legs were 2 parts of the tripod. The stick was the other.
Whoa.
And I had to shuffle my legs and never cross your feet because as soon as you cross your feet, you lose your base and it could sweep you back. So and you can see this clip on my Instagram, Mr. Bobby Bones. But it's cool to finally get to post stuff now about it. So, pretty fun to watch back too.
Mm-hmm.
The edge of it, is just cold water. The middle of it, I thought maybe I'll die.
But you had to depend on Bear, huh, in a lot of this scenarios. Like your life depended on one dude.
It was, and here's the thing: there's not 20 people up in a crew.
Yeah,
it's a couple of cameras because they're shooting from multiple angles, a sound guy, and a drone operator, and then Bear and I, and that's it. And his guys that are running the cameras are trained at being Navy SEALs or special ops, and then he trains them to do cameras.
Yeah, they're not just Hollywood camera guys.
Because camera guys can't make it through the terrain that we went through.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have these other guys that are running camera, but it's a very small crew. And then when we would do the night stuff, they were gone. We shot it with a selfie cam.
Wow.
And so because there's a part of it where we have to sleep overnight. We have to build our hut. What do you call it, a hut? A tent. We had to go.
Your camp.
Our camp's a good one because we had to go cut down trees and we built the camp.
Your fort.
They were gone. It was just Bear and I. And I was weird about that too because I didn't know Bear Grylls before I got out there.
Right.
I was like, I'm supposed to spend a night with this guy in Norway?
How much time did you spend with him, total?
Well, the whole trip there was kind of an S show because I was supposed to fly from Nashville to Atlanta to somewhere in Norway, and then Norway to this small village in Norway. That was the flight. It was going to take me about 20 hours to do the whole trip. And again, we had to orchestrate the show, so I didn't say when I was leaving. And I go and it's raining so hard in Nashville that I miss my flight to Atlanta.
Oh my gosh.
I get to Atlanta, they go, you can't fly out tonight because you've missed your flight. So I have to spend the night at a hotel on the outskirts of Atlanta that's basically under a bridge behind a Waffle House.
Oh, great.
I'm not kidding you, the hotel I had to go in, there were like 3 prostitutes in the lobby.
Why didn't they? This was the beginning of your adventure. They should have filmed it.
I thought this was already the adventure. I literally thought.
It's not Amazing Race, Bones.
I thought, am I being filmed? Am I running wild?
Is one of those girls Bear?
The crew, the TV
funny.
show didn't know. It was the airport that put me in this hotel. And so the TV crew, the production company didn't know they had stuck me 20 miles on the edge of Atlanta. And so I missed my flight. And they go, well, you can't fly. Now you have to go Atlanta, Toronto to the Netherlands, and so
oh my gosh.
I was supposed to get there the night before and meet with the crew and with Bear.
Oh, right.
And I didn't. I landed, and as soon as I got into this small town, I threw on all my clothes and away I went. I'd never met anyone.
Wow.
So I get in a helicopter. They fly me into this weird Norway place. There's nobody around. And then the first time you see Bear meet me on camera, it's the first time I'd ever seen him.
That's crazy.
And he's like, all right, Bobby, here we go. And away we went. And it was one of the hardest things. I think it was the short-term hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Well, because Dancing with the Stars was
Yes.
long-term difficult.
That was a different kind of hard, but yes, that was a long-term grind. But it was the hardest thing, but it was also the most fulfilling because I felt there were 2 times during this episode you'll see on Tuesday that I thought maybe I might die. And I didn't think I would, but there was a chance.
Yeah.
There's one part of it where I was so scared that I couldn't speak with my mouth. 1, I was freezing cold, and 2, I was so scared of what I was going to do.
And I saw it the first time, but then when I saw it the second time, I finally saw what you were talking about with your mouth moving because I didn't notice it until you actually say that. That's really funny.
I was scared. And I'm okay with being scared and admitting I'm scared. I never think that fear is a bad thing. I think not doing something because you're scared is where you start to penalize yourself and keep yourself from really the great things in life. I don't know how to dance. I was like, I'm scared to death to go hop on national TV and dance and be. But this was. It was 2 days, and it was the scariest thing I've ever had to do. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
I lived, obviously.
I think me knowing that you were totally okay and you lived, and I've seen you outside of this, watching it, I was so nervous for you. But knowing that you survived, I could breathe a little bit better because it was scary.
And when it was happening, I didn't even realize that's what you were doing. When you left, you're like, I'm going to go do a Bear Grylls show. I didn't know what you were doing until actually we saw it later. I'm like, that's what you did?
Tuesday night on Nat Geo. And what's interesting, too, is our station in Nashville, our affiliate here, they're doing a thing called Running Wild with Bobby Bones. And so and I don't know if everybody can do this, all the affiliates. I just think it's a real fun idea that the station's doing. And the station that we're on in Nashville is called the Big 98. And if you watch I have to eat something weird. We find something, and we could not find food for the life of us. And they don't show all that of us struggling to find bird eggs, and we could find nothing.
Oh, you didn't take snacks or anything with you guys?
No, there was nothing. No snacks.
Oh, God.
There were no Weilers.
No dried ice cream?
Nothing like that. And so we find something, and we eat it. But it's like, if you watch the episode and you go to our station website, you get to run wild with us. It means we bring winners up to hang out and meet all of us on the show. My personal trainer, my boxing coach, because I have some boxing gyms here in Nashville, Title Boxings, they do a 30-minute boxing session with him. And then we give them meet and greets to go see Miranda. And it's a whole thing, too. Cool. It's a good promotion by our Nashville team. So let me shout out Gator for that. So
Running Wild with Bobby Bones.
Bobby?
That's how everything is so dramatic. Every time he says your name, Bobby Bones is going to make his way across the river.
I don't know if Bear's coming on the show or not. We will message a little bit. And he's always in other countries doing shows. I don't know what his timing is. But he was, if you ever watch Bear Grylls' show and you're like, I wonder if he's a nice guy, the kindest guy, just would love to be his best friend.
But could probably also kill you with his pinky.
For sure, because he's a special forces guy, but just really wonderful.
Yeah, you can kind of see that just by watching the show.
Just wonderful. So if you want to see that clip of me, it's on my Instagram, Mr. Bobby Bones, but that show's next Tuesday night. So cool. I watched something last night. Basically, my Super Bowl was on last night. I'll talk about it in a second. I watched something on TV last night. I'd never do appointment TV watching unless it's for a sporting event. This wasn't a sporting event, and I was ready, and I was into it, and I'll tell you about it coming up next. two things I'm excited about. One, tomorrow morning on the show, Lee Nash, the singer from Sixpence None the Richer, is going to come perform on the show. Was a huge fan when they came out. Love it now. Maybe you know this song, There She Goes.
There she goes.
Of course.
Amy's winning song for years and years. Maybe you know the song Kiss Me, which I think was their big breakthrough song.
Yeah.
So tomorrow she'll perform in studio, which I'm super pumped about. Scuba Steve, I was like, I would love to get her, and he got her, and it's awesome. So I'm super excited about that tomorrow.
Cannot wait.
And later on today, we'll talk to the kid who scored perfect on his ACT. That's coming up in like the next 20 minutes. 36 on his ACT. This is my kind of hero right here.
That's your dude.
He's 17 years old. He nailed it. He's from Arkansas, and we'll talk to him. Speaking of smart stuff, last night was basically my Super Bowl. It was Nerd Super Bowl. It was the first episode of The Greatest of All Time on Jeopardy.
I was wondering what it could be.
Those three guys that have dominated. And so at this point, it was live and they're playing again tonight. I'm going to say who won last night because the whole thing's not over. And you're probably not going to go back and watch last night's.
But you should probably say spoiler alert.
I did. I just said I'm about to say it. But it's, yeah. Well, listen, Ken Jennings was crushing. He won last night. Ended up being pretty close because of the Final Jeopardy. The guy was just, and I think it would have been more, he was just playing strategically. Ken Jennings was the guy who back in the day was the first one to win like 75 in a row.
Back in the day, like how?
Like 15 years.
Okay, crazy.
It's been that long.
Wow.
But I set my alarm. I was like, I got to be at the TV at 8 o'clock.
Just like the old days.
And they did two separate Jeopardy 30-minute shows, and they rolled the points over to the second one. And it was good. And usually I can sit, I'm pretty good with trivia. Mm-hmm. And usually I can sit and sometimes keep up, sometimes do better, sometimes do worse than the people when they play regular Jeopardy. Not last night.
No way.
These guys are superheroes.
It's a different league. Yeah.
Hot.
It was great. It was exciting for me. And so I watched it last night. Ken Jennings holds a record of 74 consecutive victories. That James Holzhauer, the guy who won recently and won all that money, he's one of them too. Here he is taunting the other guy, Brad, during the game.
James.
What is Philadelphia?
Yes.
No need to rub it in.
So they're kind of loose, which is fun. The crowd's into it. It's like the greatest of all time. Here's a clip of Ken Jennings winning last night.
Over to James Holzhauer now. Came up with Schumacher. That brings you up to 30,000 for this game. Earlier, you had 33,200. So you are 200 points shy. And that means that Ken Jennings has won the first match.
It was good. Like I was at home last night. I made just taking it. It had a few Werther's original.
I was about to say,
I enjoyed the night.
Snacks.
Do you have your slippers on?
I mean, listen to me. I'm having Werther's original watching Jeopardy. What is happening with me?
You're a catch.
I do have. I'm not even going to look at the page. Is the spoiler on the second page, Mike? It doesn't say who. It doesn't? Okay, because I'm going to look at it. It's not going to spoil it for me, right? All right. It says the Jeopardy GOAT winner leaks ahead of the win. Contestant X. I guess a lot of people put money on somebody, and when a lot of money comes in at one time, they'll sometimes pull it because they'll know somebody knows something.
Yeah.
I don't want to even see that. Alex Trebek, though, he's sick. He's fighting cancer right now, even as the show's going. And, I was watching him do a couple interviews, and at one point he was talking about how he already has a speech. He said he just needs 30 seconds. He already kind of has rehearsed it. He just needs 30 seconds to say goodbye.
What I would do on that day is tell the director, time the show down to leave me 30 seconds at the end. That's all I want. And I will say my goodbyes. I will tell people, don't ask me who's going to replace me because I have no say in that whatsoever. But I'm sure that if you give them the same love and attention and respect that you have shown me for the past 30, however many years, then they will be a success and the show will continue being a success. And until we meet again, God bless you and goodbye.
I know.
I don't even know him. I don't even watch Jeopardy really, but I get so emotional when he talks.
I think a bit of it too is because he has, even if you haven't been with him every day, he's been a presence in our lives since we were just kids. He's just always been there, ever present. Alex Trebek's on Jeopardy. You may be flipping through, you see him for 30 seconds.
Right.
You may watch an occasional episode. It comes up sometimes in pop culture, but for so long he's been there, so it feels like he's been right alongside us. Even though we don't know them. A little bit I was jealous last night because they did a whole category on American Idol, and they didn't use me for one of the questions, and they used the 3 judges and Ryan.
Oh.
And I was there at that promo shoot, and I was talking to the Jeopardy people, and they didn't know who I was. Because they're like, on American Idol, it's the 3 judges, Ryan and myself, were the 5 people on that show. And those 4 are very famous. And then there's the guy that just wanders around who also does it. There's just me. And so I was talking to them and they were like, hey, you should come watch a show. You should come to, and I don't think they even knew I was part of the cast. Not that they would have used me last night, but I was watching. I was a little bit jealous I didn't get to do a Jeopardy question because I love that show so much. Anyway, that's what I did last night. I ate Werther's Original, and I watched Jeopardy, and it was great. So, and then I'll watch tonight too. They're winning $1 million, but it's the first one to win 3 games, right? Isn't that what it is? My
so
Super
will
Bowl.
tonight be the last?
No,
when's
because
the
Ken Jennings won 1 last night.
Oh, so then someone else won tonight, and then they'll have to, unless he wins again tonight.
Unless somebody else wins, and you just keep going. It's like the drafts, which we haven't brought back yet.
Yeah, are those coming back?
They will. They will.
You have a time frame?
In time.
But it's only going to be once a week.
When the time's right.
Yeah, possibly once a week, occasionally maybe a bonus draft.
Okay.
Oh.
You never know. Thomas Rhett, Remember You Young, Bobby Bones Show. You want to talk to us? We'd love you. Have questions? 877-77-Bobby. 877-77-Bobby.
The Bobby Bones Show.
When this show is over today, I think that it's interesting that the podcast that I did last night, you can search Bobbycast. And so, first of all, we did 7 songs that have mistakes in them that you didn't even know. They just left the mistakes in. Like one time there's an airplane, I'm not going to say which song, but airplanes flying over and you hear it in the song.
Really? And they left it in there?
They left it in. One time they mess up the lyrics in the song and they laugh and you think it's just part of the song, but you really find out. So check out that. And then I had on Lauren Jo Black from countrynow.com. And she was just talking about some of the things that she's looking forward to in 2020. And we talked about Rascal Flatts and, you know, they are doing a farewell tour and they're saying goodbye and then they're done. And so this is her talking about why she thinks that is.
They weren't re-signed to their contract at their record label this fall, so I kind of thought something like this was coming. And I think they're going out on a good note. I mean, 20 years, that's a long time to be together. Again, I'm not surprised. I kind of think when Dan and Shay started to get popular, they filled that place for Rascal Flatts. Like, I hate to say that there's only one place for someone to sort of sound like that.
So there you go. Listen to this whole, search Bobbycast when the show's over today and check it out. It's a good one. Mike D and I, and we got Lauren Jo Black, and we also talked about those songs that when one song a phone rings and you don't know, it kind of sounds like it's supposed to be there, but a phone was ringing when they were recording and they just left it in.
Oh, that's funny.
So search Bobbycast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Cool.
The Bobby Bones Show. It's about